Welcome to the AI Lab Unfiltered podcast, where we take a deep dive into everything AI and everything AI related. I am Drew Veach from BizStream. I am joined with Pete Terryn from New Wave.
Hello.
On today's episode, we talk about critical thinking and AI, and is it replacing our critical thinking? We also talk about AI agents and where and how to get started about thinking about how to structure your AI agent. We are also recording in Studio Jefferson, just outside Grand Rapids. Beautiful studio. We love the studio, and we are powered by Think Tank Thought Leadership. If you're looking to build a podcast and you need a turnkey solution or don't know what to do, like us, we just had an idea. We approached them and they handled everything for us. They handle all the production, all the distribution, all the social media. They keep us on time, on schedule, and on track.
You don't have to know how to edit anything. They'll post on your social channels for you. They'll bring you water and coffee if you ask nicely.
Wait, they do?
Yeah. Maybe not you. But yeah, it's awesome. And Think Tank Thought Leadership also can do a lot with like creating content. So if you want to be a thought leader in a particular space, they can record you for an hour and then do 100 different posts just based off of that without you having to do anything. So it's really awesome what they're doing.
Absolutely. And today we have an awesome guest. We have Mr. Nathan Jean, co-founder and CTO of Kairos.
Happy to be here, everybody, and super excited to talk about all things AI.
Yes, and we were already talking for about 10 minutes before this, and I said, hold on. Put your headphones on. We got to record this.
We should record this, yeah.
So we were talking about the chat features of several different AI systems. You mentioned that Sesame. Is it Sesame.ai?
Yeah. So there's a new voice model company out there called Sesame. And so like the big ones are 11 Labs. A lot of people know about 11 Labs. Sesame was somewhat new, and I'm drawing a blank on what this new open source one was. But if you look at the examples and listen to the audio recordings, it's like 99.5% indistinguishable between like human voice.
Yeah.
So just really wild, like how.
See, and I've never heard of Sesame. I've never used it. I'll probably try it today.
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT all the time.
Yeah.
It is getting better. You can tell from when they first dropped that feature to now, the lag time, which is what we were talking about, the lag time between asking a question and, hey, tell me about Abraham Lincoln, and you wait a minute before it responds. Now it's pretty quick to respond. My qualm about it now is that when I'm talking to it, like in the car, and then all of a sudden my kid wants to say something, or my wife and my kid are talking, and it's like, it starts picking up all that.
Oh yeah.
And it starts cutting out. And it's like, I'm trying to train it. Don't listen to anybody but me.
Yeah.
It's like, ignore everybody else around. And it's not working quite as well as what I wanted it to, but
I had a moment at home the other day. I was in the kitchen and I had my phone out and I had the voice for ChatGPT up and I was talking to it. And then my wife, I love you, babe.
Do we have to edit any of this?
No, she doesn't watch anyway. So it doesn't matter. But she's like making noise, like clang, opening the fridge.
Yeah.
And I swear, like normally she just closes the fridge door, but this time she's like slams it and she's grabbing the pots and pans and bang, bang, bang. And I'm getting so frustrated because I'm like talking and I'm having a conversation and so I feel your pain.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this
exactly
is like probably one of the saddest things I've ever said publicly is that I was mad at my wife because I couldn't talk to my digital assistant without being interrupted.
That's where we're at.
That's what we need to edit out now.
Yeah, with those, every tool, every platform is going to be a little bit different, but all of them have to have like some sort of gate, like some sort of noise gate on it. So, because like how does the AI know when to, shut up?
Exactly.
Stop talking. And so there has to be some threshold. Some companies do it by like the amount of words that are recognized. Some folks will do it by like audio decibels and whatnot. It's going to be different for like every tool, every platform, but without like some sort of setting to toggle, you're probably just going to run into that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So, how long before we don't have to like turn it on and it's just always listening and it just recognizes when you're asking it a question versus me asking you
kind of
a
like
question?
Siri?
Yeah.
Does Siri do that?
Yeah,
now?
I mean, technically, like the Amazon Echo device, the Google Home devices, they're kind of already doing that. The microphones are always on as soon as they're plugged in. It's just like, when does the assistant or AI assistant actually kick in?
Interacting? Yeah.
Right. It's gonna. It's gonna be different for every platform. They're gonna do it probably in a different way, but really, like Siri, Amazon Alexa, kind of already does that at the moment on your phone. I mean, I think our phones are always listening to us all the time anyways, right?
Yeah.
If we want an AI assistant to be there with us all the time, there's a couple companies that have tried and I think have somewhat failed at that. There was one where it was like a lapel.
Yeah.
They had like a lapel and they
Humane,
had like this. Humane.
Yeah.
And I've heard some rumors that company's not doing so hot anymore because it's just like the adoption or the expense or something to that effect. But
I'm thinking more like, because with that, you'd have to say like, if I say it now, your phones will start listening to you, and so I won't say it. But you have to still give it a trigger word in order for it to react. Like if I say, "Hey," whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like I'm watching TV with my wife. Like we were doing this the other day, and Harrison Ford was on, and she said, "Oh, we were just talking about him and the movies that he was in." And I'm like, "Well, did you mention Air Force One?" She goes, "Oh, well." What I would love is for my AI to recognize that I'm trying to search for other Harrison Ford movies and just like start spitting them out. You know what I mean?
Right, sure.
Without me having to say, "Hey, chat, what are some other Harrison Ford movies?"
Like it's another person in the room.
It's another, yeah.
So I think we're headed in that direction. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for industry to catch up here. And the two tech innovations that have happened within the last 6 months are what I think is going to enable you to have what you just mentioned, which is A2A and MCP, right? So A2A protocol, agent to agent protocol, so multiple agents able to work together in a standardized way. And then you have MCP, which is basically allowing agents to have a better way to interface with, software, SaaS platforms, data, so that they can do more things and you don't have to do the traditional like API integration side of it, right? So, imagine you have your Siri assistant and that's the orchestrator, and that, agent is working with the Netflix agent that's working with the MCP server with Netflix, and that's how it's all chained together. And I think that's where we're headed, is like the way people are interfacing with the internet, I think is going to fundamentally change in a big way. Like right now, it's like you got to open up 10 different SaaS platforms, right, to get like that one task done. But I think with where these pieces of tech are allowing us to go is that you're going to talk to that agent, that assistant, that AI, and that AI is going to go work with the other agents that are MCP'd into, your software tools, and they're going to go accomplish the task and then report it back up. And then your assistant that you originally talked to is going to, hey, I was able to find the Harrison Ford movies, and here's a curated list of them. And would you like them sorted by the date that they were released? And, it's going to be like that, instead of you like, I got to open up Google. I got to go Google for Harrison, and then I got to open up Netflix and go do, like, that's going to go away. I think. So
I hope so, because that's actually what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I just want to go, talk to ChatGPT or whatever and just say, hey, which I'm sure it'll be embedded in the phone more like Siri at that point.
Sure.
Which is, I think, what Apple Intelligence is trying to do. I've never used that yet. My phone's too old.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
They're so far behind.
But I think, and they are completely. And I just to that point where I can say, hey, write this email, send it out to whomever, let me proof it, read it back to me. Just like you would in any kind of string of AI agent, but just to be able to say it to, like you said, to one person, like it's your assistant, have that set it all up.
Yeah.
And then come back. Yep, it's done.
Yeah.
And it's out.
I think it's going to be largely like what major company do you prefer, right? Like, do you prefer AWS's Siri? Do you prefer like Google's Gemini, who is going to be in your Google Home device or whatnot? Or is it going to be the OpenAI one? I think people are going to split into different camps based off of the company and the tech, but they're all going to have some variation of that at some point in time. And then all of the SaaS platforms and subscriptions that we all have, like, they're going to be integrated into all of them. So it won't matter, if you're like going through Siri or you're going through OpenAI, it's going to be It's all going to be there.
Probably won't even know half
What
of them.
interface do you like most, right?
Yeah, you probably won't even know half of them. It's just, I don't know what the hell it's using. It's just using 5 other ones that it found.
Yep.
I mean, you're not going to care as long as it gets it done.
You won't.
No. I mean, it kind of goes back to like, do I really need to know trigonometry in high school? Because like I have a calculator now.
Right.
And so like this is now like the next calculator. So like, it's things are going to get more abstracted away for us, which is largely, I think, going to be best, like good in the long run. But there's a little bit of like some things to take into consideration and worry about with there on the like the critical thinking part of it and like the field of expertise. Like I don't need to be an expert lawyer anymore because I have AI that can be the expert lawyer. And it's like, okay, well, like, are we going to stop producing lawyers?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like there's that part of it, but I think that is going to start at the, home level, the educational, like, the ethics side of it, how do you want to raise your kids sort of thing. But everything else is going to be great though.
So let me ask you that because we talked about this in another episode as well about the critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, because I'm contemplating, I guess I'm contemplating it now. I said I was going to buy one earlier. The limitless, the clip on that records everything.
Yeah.
Is that going to, am I going to have less critical thinking because of that? Because now that it's recording everything, the one hand, I look at it and I go, okay, now I can be more involved in the meetings, more face-to-face. I can think on the fly.
Yeah.
It allows me to do that. That's what it's for. And it's capturing all those notes.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end, I have a whole database full of notes. Is that going to take away from my critical thinking to memory, I guess, is really the memory part of it, is what I'm thinking. Because I always have it there. Why do I need to remember it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could. I mean, our dumb noggins are only able to remember like so much anyways. There's a garbage collection system in there, and you don't really have a whole lot of control over that. But that extension, that augmentation of like, I can remember more through this abstraction, through this extension. I think that's ultimately a great thing. Speed to information is also improved by using this tech a lot, right? Like, I don't need to go search through emails and notes and all scattered. Like if it is all vectorized and there's a RAG agent wrapped around it, like I can get the answer that I need very quickly. So that part of it's also nice, but like you won't have to remember all of that stuff, but until you need it, sort of thing.
I just feel like I have the memory of a goldfish right now.
Yeah.
And the stuff I do remember is like the dumbest stuff that makes no sense. Like I can tell you every plot of Magnum PI, but I couldn't tell you.
It's funny. It's like
the meeting I had yesterday.
Yeah, I saw this meme the other day, and I was like, "This is me." I'm like, how does my brain remember that I forgot something, but it doesn't remember what I forgot? Like that is frustrating, right? Like that's super frustrating.
That is frustrating.
That's a good point.
Like, how?
It
How does
doesn't
that work?
It doesn't get better as you get older either.
No. Yeah.
So we do talk about this a lot, and I was just thinking that there could be an AI tutor that you could employ daily to just do some critical thinking, so that muscle stays like fit.
Yeah,
and that's probably not a bad idea because what you just described of how everything's hyper connected and we're not even going to know how anything is made. There's if there is something goes away, like I was so. You guys know Simon Sinek. He was on a podcast, Diary of a CEO, that I was listening to on the way in. It's pretty recent. And he's talking about exactly this. And he used the analogy. He said, well, yeah, you can build a boat to help get you there, but what happens if that boat sinks and you don't know how to swim?
Right.
And that's kind of what we're talking about here. So if we are, and you've got young kids, you're talking about how you need coffee because your kids don't sleep well. Like it's likely, or it should be part of their education, not learning trigonometry because you have a calculator.
Sure.
But just critical thinking, and you could have fun with that. You could put fun critical thinking scenarios in front of kids so that they're using it, but they're doing it in a fun way. They've got this AI tutor that knows what they like, and it creates scenarios that are specific to them, that are engaging, and they want to learn. There's a possibility we could be better thinkers because of AI than
teachers.
worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think teachers, if you're just thinking about like what educational material is and how it's delivered, I mean, teachers are cooked, So I think for all of us, like if you're thinking about like AI as parents or AI as being a teacher or whatnot, I think we all are at a pivotal moment where it's important to think about what becomes valuable when all of this stuff is abstracted away for us and it's all repeatable and everybody has access to it and everybody has the same competitive edge now. And I think we need to be asking ourselves as individuals, as families, as companies, as teams, like what is going to become more valuable over time? Critical thinking skills, huge. The ability to do in-person sales, huge. The ability to do like the emotional connection, personal in-person experience thing, huge, right? And I think while everybody picks up this tech, we also need to spend a little bit of time like grinding the axe in those areas as well, right? Because like for my kids, I'm like, hey, I'm happy. I want you, and you obviously will be like very educated on how to use AI and what it is, and it's a tool, it's an extension, it's this thing. But also I'm like, I want to know that you understand what 1 + 1 = 2 is. Yeah. And I want you to prove it to me. And, but I also want you to not think that you have to go to AI for literally everything, because you don't. And if you do, like, you're just kind of almost at some point in time is the tech kind of puppeteering you, or are you puppeteering it? Because you're so reliant on it. It's like water. Like, you have to drink it, otherwise you're not going to make it. And it's like, no, let's not go that far down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Right? Like, it's a tool.
I think about AI in education a lot. And you've got teachers that believe that their students are cheating using AI to get the answer. And the
short answer is yes.
And they are. And the students know that their teachers are using AI to grade their papers. Like that, I read an article, just the headline of an article, so I don't know how true it is, but a college student was suing their professor because they knew that the professor was using AI to grade their paper. Mm-hmm. And like, why am I paying so much for college when they're just plugging my paper into AI and grading it? Like, what value was that teacher providing? So as I've thought about this, I still think that an AI tutor is going to be the best way for everyone to learn, because it can be tailored to your individual learning style. Yeah. But to your point about demonstrating it, I think the way that kids will be tested on their knowledge is going to be different. I think what I'm proposing is that I still need to sit down with you. You're my teacher, I'm the student. Mm-hmm. I've turned in the paper, and the test is me sitting down to you, talking about what I've learned and demonstrating that I actually know what I'm talking about. Right. Versus just, well, here's my paper. That's me. No, that's not you. That's ChatGPT. No. Yeah. And I bet that you don't know half of what's in there. So that's where the personal part of it comes back, is I'm going to have to demonstrate to you that I actually learned those concepts. I know what 1 + 1 is.
Right. Right.
It's a good point. The testing is going to change to it, because using ChatGPT or any AI tools right now, I've told you, we've talked about this extensively, that my son's a freshman. Actually, today's his last day of school, but he's a freshman in high school, and he's got 2 classes that he uses ChatGPT on his Chromebook for that. Sure. And the teacher will teach the whole concept or whatever. One of them, I think, is math class. And it's not just, here's the answer. It's, you have to show your work. Right. And he uses ChatGPT to help him understand how to show that work.
Yeah, actually breaking down the problem.
Yeah, and it's not just show me what the answer of showing my work is, and I can just write that in there. It's literally so he can teach it back to say, here's how I came up with it. Here's my deductive thinking, if you will. Yeah.
Did you hear about, I don't remember the name of this platform, but there's already been like a beta pilot where all of the education is delivered via an AI-enabled platform, and that those students were graded, and they tested higher than the kids that were not enrolled like in this program. So there's already been some of this like somewhat proved out. Yep. And based off of that, it's like, okay, well, this is where things are going to go. Yeah. Like at some point in time.
I have a close friend who's a teacher, and I almost ruined our friendship talking to her about AI. This was like this spring after November 22. So this would be spring of 23. ChatGPT 3 had just like, this is when AI hit the mainstream, and we were on spring break together. We're at this beautiful pool, beautiful weather, great day. And I almost ruined our friendship talking about AI and how it was going to replace teachers. And I've learned a lot since then about how to have conversations with people about AI.
You're like, isn't it great? It's going to replace
gonna
all
replace
of us.
you.
Don't say replace.
Yeah. And
Don't say
understandably so. Like she pushed back. And as recently as just a couple months ago, we had another conversation, and it was still kind of contentious. Yeah. And I appreciate her viewpoint, and I hope she appreciates mine.
Yeah.
But I've come away from thinking that it was going to replace teachers to it's going to just supercharge the learner. Mm-hmm. And the teacher is still there for that human connection that you have to have, because that would get lost if you didn't have
AI
that.
is
right?
never going to replace that.
Right. But also, like, okay, now I have to demonstrate to you that I understand this concept. And yes, you could probably do the same thing to an AI and, demonstrate to it, and it could say, yeah, you get it, or yeah, you don't. But I think that's where the human is still a part of that. So we might need more teachers, not less, because to be able to sit down with every student, have them demonstrate what they've learned to you, that would be the whole class. Like, you wouldn't have time to learn. So we might actually need more teachers in the future to be able to be there for those students, and that could be a really cool future of education.
Yeah, I think small businesses, some of these niche professions are still a little bit in the fear stage of everything, and I can understand why, right? Because it's like, look back historically. At one point in time, everybody was driving around on a horse and buggy, right? And then Ford came along, and then we made the automobile, and people were still on horse and buggies for a while until they weren't. Mm-hmm. And I think where we're at today is we're in that second wind or second phase, history repeating itself sort of thing. And if you're the person who is the horse and buggy maintenance person, if you're the person who's the horse and buggy driver, if you're the person who is, producing the food for the horses, like all of you are worried right now, right? But this is a little bit different though, because I do think it's an opportunity to be blanketed by this tech, as like it's a cape, and it makes you a supercharged superhero.
As long as you have that viewpoint, though.
But that's the thing, because if you're too worried about adoption, and you're not really taking the steps there, then you probably won't,
Right.
And it's new, innovative, disruptive tech. We'll see where it goes, but I think we all can see where it's going now. And I don't know. We're going to get like line in the sand sort of folks, who are it's going to be 5 years from now, and they're still going to be like line in the sand, like, nope, never, And hey, that's okay too, I guess.
That was on here, or was this a friend of mine that said that they believe that there's going to be like, kind of like how we have Amish now, that there will be those people that are just like, I'm never going to go there. Yep. And maybe they're stuck in like 2025, not like Amish where they don't have any technology, but maybe they just stop here. Mm-hmm. They go all the way up to AI, but they don't use AI because of whatever. They still use their cell phone. They're going to use AI in the background and just not know it, right?
Yeah. Aren't they called flat earthers?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see where there will be break off groups where they're going to be just like, nope, we're not going there.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, my hope is that, we can all kind of convince them that, it's not what you think it is. I mean, there's always going to be risk. Every new tech innovation has a double-edged sword. It has the opportunity to do a lot of good. It has a lot of opportunity to do a lot of damage. It's how you use the tool. But for small businesses specifically, it's like those are really the folks who need this tech the most, but they don't have the liquidity to take the risk to spend $5,000 on like a voice AI agent that can schedule appointments for them, because it's still seen as experimental and I don't understand it. Right. And so, but those are the companies and those are the people that arguably need it the most, so that they can scale the most, so that they can grow the most, so that they can prosper the most. So that I think is going to be the kind of the challenge, right, for most small businesses which is obviously a major portion of the economy, is like there's so much more than ChatGPT out there. And while AI has some scary things about it, like don't be scared to the point where, you're so hesitant to take advantage of the tech in front of you,
Yeah.
So it's like somebody invented fire. Like use the fire,
Right.
Like,
Don't hold out on
cook
fire.
the steak and make iron and form those into tools. Like don't be like fire, scary, burns, ouch, bad. And like, I don't think that's the way you probably should be, but hopefully you come around and you're not missing out.
Yeah.
So
speaking of practicality, then as a consultant, builder, small business owner, every hat that you're wearing, what tools do you see right now that are, man, this is the cat's ass of a tool? And then what tools are you seeing? Like my analogies?
This is a good one.
Bee's knees, cat's ass.
And then what do you see in the future coming up that's like, oh, I can't wait till this starts happening that you're hearing rumblings about?
Yeah, I mean, I think at minimum, at the moment, it's not necessarily like is it OpenAI or is it Anthropic or is it Google or is it Grok? I think those are going to cycle with like, this is the new top one and then next week it's that one. And we're always going to be kind of in this competitive loop. I think where the small businesses really need to pick up tooling, and they could pick up tooling immediately, is like low-code integration platform like Zapier or Make, or AI agent builder N8N, right? Because like N8N, like you can start to build an agent that integrates to all of your tools, and like, boom, now you have an agent, and now you can make another agent, and then you can make those two agents talk together, right? And like, if somebody spends like a little bit of time, a little bit of aptitude, maybe a little bit of YouTube University, like you can go build that yourself. You're going to have to learn some things, but give it 3 months of like, I'm going to just teach myself all this stuff in 3 months. Like you're going to be a bona fide expert. You're going to be able to do this stuff and build these agents, and they're going to be able to accomplish the task and all that jazz. Right. So those are like some easy tool recommendations, super low cost, so like the cost to get in, to start pulling that tech in is dirt cheap. Like surely you would be able to make some cuts to have $100 budget somewhere so that you can go afford an N8N subscription for $25 a month. Right. And open an open router or open AI account for the LLM, for the tokens, make.com, $68 a month sort of thing. And boom, you're off on the way.
Yep.
So it's not what it used to be. You used to be before Make, before N8N, thousands. And you'd have to have somebody like me come in and be like,
you'd have to have a team of people that know how to engineer it together.
Yeah. So you can DIY a lot of this stuff, but it's just, you got to spend a little bit of time learning. And oh, by the way, you have artificial intelligence to help you figure out how to get over the learning curve and over the learning gap. Because if you talk to OpenAI and say, hey, how do I make this make.com automation? Like, boom.
Exactly.
Somebody I saw this week for N8N, that agent builder, somebody made a Chrome extension now where you chat and you say what agent you want and what do you want it to do. And it goes boop, 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 boop. And it spits out that entire AI agent build out for you. So you don't even have to you might have to plug in some API keys, right? Like you might have to do some.
See, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you're not even going to know. It's just going to pick a bunch of stuff and go, here's how I execute that. But you're only talking to the initial assistant in the beginning.
Yeah, I want to talk to my AI project manager.
Yeah.
Right? I want to talk to my AI SDR, right? Yep. That's where it's probably going to go.
Yeah.
So
if I'm a small business owner and I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, that sounds great, Nate, but I've never written a line of code. I don't, because I think part of it too is like there are certain people that are wired to like think about automation, and they're usually lazy like me. Like how can I do whatever I'm doing? How can I do it easier? Because I want to put as little effort into this as possible. But there are people that don't think in terms of automating things. Yeah. Like what would you recommend to someone that's wired like that? Because they're listening to this, like that all sounds great, but there's no way in hell I'm ever going to do that because my brain doesn't think that way.
Yeah, sure. Well, there's really three ways to get, let's say like an AI solution put together. There's do it for you, there's do it with you, and then there's do it yourself, right? If if this group of people is the group of people where they're like, I don't want to do it myself by myself solo, then you should probably look at do it with you options, which there are folks out there, consultants out there where they're like, yeah, we'll spend like an hour or two and I'll teach you the ropes, answer questions that you have, and then like help you get unstuck and unblocked on whatever you're unblocked on, right? And that can be great because you can do 80% of it yourself, and then that 20% you can have somebody assist you. Surely there's people out there that will, be willing to do that sort of work. I know we have offered do it with you in those scenarios. And then there's do it for you. And to do it for you is going to be the more expensive route, right? Because like you're paying experts, there's, spending their time, they're engineering something for you. So, if you're like, do it for you is not what I can afford or not what I want to explore, and I also don't want to do it myself, then try to find somebody who can do it with you, and shorten the learning curve. But that'll get you on your way as well.
I think a big part of that process is, at least when we approach clients, is don't worry about the AI or the automation part of it. People tend to get fixed on that. Go, well, I got to have something AI so I can label it as AI.
Right.
Don't do it for AI's sake. What are you trying to solve? It still goes back to that business need. What are you trying to solve? What you're a department manager and you're trying to make your people more efficient. What are they doing? Let's break that down. I think that's where the value of having someone come in that can do it for you is they can walk you through all those preliminary steps before you then say, based on what you're telling me, here's the biggest value of efficiency we could build in there. And we can do that through some automation, and that might be strictly coding, or it might be, and we can use AI as that tool. Otherwise, I think you're building more of a solution to find a problem.
Yeah, correct. You want to, there's a scale, right? There's like zero AI, zero AI implemented, zero AI leverage. That's the one extreme. The other extreme is we're fully maxed out. There's nowhere else that AI can actually provide value in business, in ops, and in process, right? The goal is obviously to get at that hard extreme side of it. Yeah. But to get there, as you just mentioned, we have to find the high impact, low effort items first to start, especially if you're closer to like, we have no AI implemented in our business. Well, let's not go do a massive project and undertaking. Let's just do these small little surgical, solutions to problems you actually have right now that are going to be quantifiable ROI as soon as this thing gets turned on.
Yep.
And start there, right? And then the projects will probably become a little bit more complex as you go up the chain towards like fully maxed out AI across the board.
Yeah, so, exactly. Build that MVP.
Yeah. Don't go shiny tool first, right? Go, I have a real problem. I can't figure out how to solve it. Maybe this tool can help me solve it. And what does that actually look like? And then
build that architecture of it and flow. And then here's where the AI comes in.
Prove it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like try to prove it out first.
So you're both in that do it for you world. So I'll play the role of I have a business and I have a problem that needs to be solved. I could, and you guys may or may not do like a free consultation or whatever where we can sit down and say, here's my problem. What is a way that I could use AI to get my thoughts together? Because maybe I'm intimidated about not even being able to describe my issue to you.
Right.
Like
sure.
How could I use ChatGPT to maybe some ideas for some prompts or something where I can then have something that I could bring to you and say, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. If you can make custom GPTs, like if you have a GPT Plus account, you could make a custom GPT that is an AI solution architect, right? And you could prompt your way through getting the system instructions and everything, like the tool belt, the tech stack, provide that to the AI solution architect GPT, and then interface with that GPT to help you architect out so the solution to the problem. And it would be like, oh, if you make automation and you plug it into this, and here's a prompt that you can use for the OpenAI piece that's in the middle, and boom, here's the blueprint. It might even be able to write the JSON blueprint for the make automation,
right?
From scratch. And now you're just plugging in that as well. So that's probably what I would do is you might not need a Nate. You might already have a Nate. You just haven't discovered that you have a Nate in this AI account that you already have.
Yeah.
So,
And I would say even one step before that is just to go in and do a brain dump.
yeah.
Going back to the voice feature.
Yeah.
And just do a brain dump in there and say, I'm trying to figure out how to take the leads that come from the website to go into my that come in my email to have an automated response, but I want to check the response. And depending on what they're asking, send them this way or this way or this way, depending on the service they're asking. I would just brain dump in there, have it capture all of that, and then say, okay, so can you summarize all that and give me what are the steps I need to do to, if I was going to build this out in like an AI agent like make.com, what would I need to do?
Yep.
And I would have it then rip on that, going to your point. Then it can start architecting out to say, yeah, here's where you actually use that.
So full disclosure, I literally did this yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I didn't use the chat feature though, so I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
I try and teach you some stuff.
in chat, I just started, I had an idea of what I wanted and I knew the features that I wanted to have. And that's all I did. I said, I want to have something that I can give to a developer. And I want it to be this app and I want it to have these features. And I didn't, it wasn't some fancy thing. I was just like, I want it to do this, comma. I want it to do that, comma. And I said, take all of that and create something that I could take to a developer that would make sense to them, that they could easily understand what it is that I'm trying to build. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it is like using AI as a thought partner is something we talk about in here a lot. And so many people, when I share that with them, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But man, if you're stuck on anything, just
it's, you know, it's great. It's great. It's a great expertise translator, right? It's like you got different folks in a room who are different expertise. You got your engineers, you got your marketing people, you got your sales people, you got your ops people, and they're all using different vernacular. And they're all using different terminology, and they're maybe trying to say things in the same way, but it just kind of gets lost in translation a little bit. LLMs, great for this, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need to put something together so that it is in the language of what a developer is going to understand. Really awesome for doing stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
So even on the communication side of it, I think it's vastly improving our ability to communicate the thoughts and the ideas, right, and the sequences and all of that stuff across these channels as well, which is huge, right? Because like now I don't need to spend an hour in the room with you to like whiteboard out this thing so that we're on the same page with what it is. It's like I've already kind of preparatorily done that.
Yeah.
And it's in a language that you're going to understand, senior software developer, which is huge.
Before I started doing it, I was envisioning just that whole whiteboarding session. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I have all my ideas together. So I don't want to sit down with them yet because I don't know that I'm ready. So I just typed what I did know. And now that I've got that, and I actually, after that, I went back a couple times and said, add this feature, add that feature, as things would kind of come into my head. And so I could do this over the next week. I don't have to be fully prepared for this 1 hour whiteboarding session. I will be when I go to present this, because I can take a week or two or a month, as long as I want, collecting all these ideas that I have and just keep adding to it. And it'll always just come back with a new summary of what I talked about. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do a lot is here's all the notes. Here's everything I know of what I want to build, of everything structurally that I know. Here's my output or my outcome that I want. What am I missing? What am I missing in this chain, or where am I overlooking something?
I didn't think about that.
Could help me get a better result. And it will come back and say, after the third section here, we should do this as well. And there's tools out there that can do it. Oh, great. What are some of those tools?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. We got to wrap this up.
Damn it. These always ended too freaking soon. We need a lot more time. We should do 2 hours at a time.
I could talk for days.
So can we.
I could talk for days on this.
Well, Nathan, I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you being on this. Tell our folks where we can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn. And if you look up kairosdigital.com, you'll find our company. We're specialists in AI solution development, right? So taking the custom application approach, but bringing it into the new wave of building very boutique, bespoke AI solutions to solve specific problems. So online, Instagram, and LinkedIn is probably the best spot.
Awesome.
So,
thanks for coming out, man.
yeah, thanks for
Had
having
fun
me.
talking
Yeah,
about it.
good stuff.
There's so much more we can talk about.
Oh, man. Yeah.
If you like today's episode, please comment below and like and subscribe. Bye, everybody.